From Historic Barbecue. Last weekend was my last competition of the year in Nelsonville, Ohio, the Ohio Smoked Meats and Barbecue Festival. One of my favorite contests of the year. Judges always seem to like me there, so I keep going back. So I'm going to run through my scores, talk about what happened there, and then I got something else to talk about at the end of the video. So let's get right into these scores. So Friday night we had a steak competition. This was a Kcbs steak competition, not SCA or ASCA. It's a little bit different in the procedure. You're still cooking a ribeye, turning in one, no garnish. You got your little foiled disc at the bottom of the box. But the way they do the scoring is Kcbs scoring. Appearance, taste, and tenderness. And it's weighted the same as Kcbs. And so your actual doneness, it kind of goes towards the appearance score because they're going to cut that steak in half. The judges are going to look in the middle of the steak. And you know how pink that steak is, if it's cooked to that perfect medium, is part of your appearance score. That also affects your tenderness score, obviously, but it's weighted way less. You know, only half a point basically. So it is a little bit different. And they cut the entire steak, where in the other steak organizations they're only cutting that spinalis, and the judges are only eating the spinalis. In the Kcbs event, the judges they're cutting that entire steak into 8 pieces, and then the 6 judges takes one of those 8 pieces. So it is a little bit different. Didn't really change a whole lot about my process. I did do something different than I normally do in steak competition. These steaks were thicker than I normally get, which I like. And so what I did is I reverse seared them. Normally at a steak competition, I'm going straight on the Traeger Ranger with my grill grates, only a few minutes each side to get those grill marks, and then wait until it hits its doneness. But I was afraid with a steak this thick, you'd have that weird gray band on the top and bottom. And they were thick enough, they allowed me to reverse sear it, get some smoke flavor on there. So I cooked it on the Timberline at 200 degrees for about 45 minutes to an hour, and then I moved it over to the Ranger with the grill grates, got the grill marks, turned it in, and judges liked my food again this year. First place steak, defending champion, that's 2 years in a row, first place steak in Nelsonville. So really excited about that. There are a lot of good steak cooks there. Let's look at my score sheet here. So my total score on steak, I think that was a 170, yeah, 170.3. But we had Smoking Hoosiers there. He's Justin's a great steak cook. High on the Hog, they're the ACSA Team of the Year, current leader in Team of the Year. Uncle Toad was there. Coon Dog Barbecue, he's a good steak cook. So lots of good steak cooks, and a lot of those good steak cooks are on my table. So I was happy to get that first place call and defend the champion and take home a boot for the steak competition. So right after Friday, move on into the Kcbs competition. Your standard pork, chicken, ribs, brisket. So let's just start at the top. Chicken, did my standard chicken legs. I was really happy with the way they looked. I had 2 taster pieces. The first one, perfect skin, really juicy, really moist, really happy with it. My second taster piece, skin was decent, just a touch off, not too bad. I don't think that would have hurt me. That's inside of that piece of chicken was a little dry. So I was really picky about which ones I put in the box. I ended up putting 7 in the box. I always try to fit 7 if I can. If I've got 7 good pieces and I can fit them in the box, I'm going for 7. I think the judges like seeing more food in the box, and I think that gives the table captain something to eat. And you know, they normally only get 6 pieces of chicken in the chicken box, so that's just a little bonus for the table captain or for the volunteers in there. And judges like the chicken. Ended up 5th in chicken with a 174.27, and there was actually only a 1 point difference between the top 4 teams, 2nd through 5th. It's only 0.6 point difference, so really tight scoring at the top. You know, one tick of a point here would have put me in 2nd place or possibly even 1st place. So detailed scores here. We got 3 triple 9s, pretty good right there. All 9s in appearance. In taste, we had the 3 9s, 2 8s, and a 7. And then in tenderness, 3 9s, 1 8, and 2 7s. This kind of matches up with what I was seeing in my taster pieces. So 3 of these judges, they got excellent triple 9 pieces of chicken. 1 judge, a 998. We'll throw them in the good category. And then we had 2 judges, 987, 977. So they likely got a piece more similar to my second taster piece. Skin might have been a little off, might have been a little bit drier than those other pieces. So it's really important you put the best pieces in the box. I try to, especially in chicken, that's something I've done all year. I've really tried to focus on is trying to figure out, because you can't take a bite of the chicken and then put it in the box. You know, what are the clues you can use to figure out if that's a good piece of chicken? So there's a couple things I look for. Does the skin look right? Sometimes on the drums, if it starts to look a little textured, I know that things are starting to go south, and I either need to get them off the cooker or not turn in that piece. So I try to make sure those pieces that are going in the box look as good as I can. I check the bottom side and see if the skin's popped or the tendon's popped. Normally the ones that aren't popped are a little bit juicier. So those are the things I'm looking for. I'm really trying to make sure those judges get the best pieces, and paid off with a 174 and a 5th place chicken. Pork ribs. I thought my ribs were the best thing I turned in all day. Only category I didn't get a call in. But I got an 11th. It was a 168.55 or 168.53. Second at the table. Detailed scores. All 9s, or 5 9s in appearance. We'll talk about the last judge in a second. We had 1 999, a 988, a 998, 988, 988. So lots of 988s. Basically only 1 9 in tenderness. The rest were 8s or 7s. We had 1 7. Taste 9 8 9 8 8 7. So it tastes pretty good. I thought these ribs were fantastic. So a little surprised I didn't get better in taste points. On to the tenderness. I think this is what killed me. So when I tasted these ribs and put in the box, I thought they were probably the best ribs I've cooked all year. Cooked a different brand of rib this competition. I did the Compart Duroc. First time I've cooked Duroc or Compart ribs at a competition. Normally wouldn't advise switching stuff before a contest without practicing, but it was my last one of the year and I wanted to just try something new. I ordered from the butcher shop down in Florida. Got them up here, ordered 6 racks, cooked 4 of them. They were all great, could have cooked any of them, but just wanted to try something new. I've had some issues sourcing ribs here that I really like, so I wanted to give the top end stuff a shot. And then you're not driving around trying to find stuff. So to me, that's the biggest value you're getting there. It's a quality product, and you're not driving 45 minutes one direction just trying to find some ribs you like. So what happened was I tasted them, put them in the box. They were excellent. Came back from turning in the box, started to clean things up, and as I was getting rid of the ribs, I tasted one again about 15 minutes after that turn-in, 10 minutes after that turn-in, and they were an entirely different product. Taste was still great, but they tightened up way, way, way more than I would have hoped. So the entire time I was hoping those judges got the ribs quick, but I think that definitely came into play with these scores. Only 1 9 in tenderness. I did get one judge that gave me a 777 on these ribs. That judge's average score for the day was a 27.4. I scored a 28, so I was above their average score with a 777. So that was a pretty tough critic. This was a 4-table contest. My absolute favorite type of contest, because there's no way you can complain about the judges. Every team went to every judge. There wasn't, even if there was a good table and a bad table, didn't matter because everyone had to go through it. So that judge was pretty critical, probably the most critical judge of the day, but everyone had to hit that table, everyone had to deal with that judge, so it's still fair. So I'm not sure what that judge was looking for. I thought this was a beautiful box, so I don't know how you give it a 7 in appearance. If they got a bad rib, I can see how they gave it the 7 in tenderness, and maybe they don't like the style of ribs I turn in, so maybe you can give them a 7 in taste, but it was a gorgeous box, so I'm not sure what they were looking for. But didn't get a call. I was a little nervous during awards when it came down at the end, and I didn't have that rib call. But ended up at 11th. You always make the joke, must have been 11th. Well, in this case it was. So I was happy with the turn-in. Decent score. We'll take it. Pork. Changed things up in pork too. A total score 172.56. 4th place. And I think this was the category. There was one of these categories, there was like a 5-way tie. A 3-way tie for second. So second, third, and fourth all had the same rib score, or pork score, sorry. So 4th place, same score as second. I don't want to even look if I got beat by a coin toss or the drop score, because it doesn't matter. So 4th place, appearance. I had 2 8s and 4 9s, which is great. 3 triple 9s. And 988, 888, and 877. I had Cooked a different pork too. I got some heritage breed pork from Dorothy Lane Market, and I also got some commodity pork for some big money mussels. Again, only tried to put the best stuff in the box. I probably had 9 or 10 slices of money mussel, but I didn't want to risk it. I picked out the best 6, only put the best 6 on the box. Got some chunks I liked from the tubes and the dark meat, but I was really picky about what I put in there. And I think pork's another one where the judge's experience from judge to judge might change depending on what pieces they take out of the box. So that can kind of explain why you got one person that gives you a 999 and one person that gives you an 877. And the 877 judge had a pretty decent average score, 32. So they got something out of my box they didn't like, and that's okay. Still had a good score, 4th overall. So far we got 2 top 5 calls, an 11th, going into brisket. This was my least favorite entry of the day. I really like the way I cooked it. I don't think I could have cooked it any better. I hit the exact tenderness I was looking for, but something was just off about this brisket. Last contest of the year, I've had the brisket in my freezer the entire time. I buy all my briskets at the beginning of the year. I trim them, I sort them, label them. I was down to the last one. I thought this was a questionable brisket, not safety-wise or anything like that. I just wasn't sure it was going to be the best possible product I could turn in. But it was still decent marbling, and it was the last contest of the year, so I didn't want to go buy another $260 brisket. So I cooked it. As soon as I opened it from the wrap, I could tell that something just didn't smell quite right. But in the end, I trimmed the edges off, I sliced it. I only put 7 slices in the box. I'm normally putting 9 or 10 in there because I only wanted those pieces that had the perfect tenderness. I doctored it up a little bit. I normally don't sauce my brisket, but I sauced this one fairly heavily. That sauce is historic original, diluted down with some beef au jus, so it's not straight sauce on there. But I put a decent amount of sauce on there. I hit it with some finishing rub, which is MSG and ground historic black, and it ended up working. I was able to take that brisket. It was just taste-wise mediocre, but really on point for the tenderness, and get it to a point where it was a well-scoring product. So that was a 174.26. So what I thought was my worst entry of the day ended up being my highest score. Let's see how we did on the scoring there. So yeah, the first place brisket was a 178. So there was a little bit of a separation there between the top 10. Probably the biggest spread of all the categories. But still, comes down to cooking it right, guys. If you cook it right, you can fix the taste at the end, and that's exactly what happened in this brisket. So, sitting there with the awards, coming around to overall, we got 3 top 5 calls. There's another team that's got a top 5 call, Bad Habit Barbecue. I didn't know what my ribs were going to do. We had some other teams that had we had a first and a second. So I was pretty nervous going into that final awards overall. We get down to the top 5, still haven't heard my name yet. Get down to the call third, not me. They call second, Bad Habit Barbecue. Congratulations, guys, on your RGC. And then I'm sitting there thinking, how bad were those ribs? You know, I'm either first or I'm not in the top 10. But thankfully, grand champion. Got my big boot home. Got to take this back to Lebanon, Ohio here. This one I've been working for a long time. I have gotten second place twice at Nelsonville. Finished in the top 5. I think 4 out of the top 5, or the last 5 years prior to this. I was 7th last year, so always right up there in Nelsonville. They're always liking my food. And this year I was finally able to take home the big trophy, get my name in the Jack for next year, got my name in for the Invitational at the Royal next year. So that was an awesome way to finish the season. And I'm glad that I got it at Nelsonville, since that's one I'm working on so hard for so long. So really excited about that. And thanks to everyone that followed up on all my posts with congratulations and all the messages and calls I got. Awesome. Bad Habit was right there, only 0.6 points behind me. They ended up with 1 4th and 2 5th place calls, and I think a 12th. So they were literally 1 place behind me overall and everything. So it doesn't get much closer than that. Again, a 4-table contest, so you know, that's kind of it is what it is. It's fair as it can get, and I was able to take home the big trophy. So really excited about that. And like I said, can't be a better way to finish the competition season. I still do have a few other things the rest of this year. Got a vending event tomorrow. So last Sunday of the month here in Ohio at Mason, the Common Brewing. Probably going to be my last one out there. It's going to get pretty cold. I'm going to have to winterize the trailer here in the next few weeks. So probably not going to make it the end of November there. But hopefully if you've been watching my Instagram stories, you probably know what I'm about to talk about. But this is something I've been working on for over a year. New products. So these are, I've got the original, we got the Sweet Zing, and we've got Spicy. Well, we had one. So I've been working on kind of revamping my product line, switching the packaging, tweaking the recipes for over a year. Getting a commercial retail product ready is a huge process. I did 57 revisions of the recipe in my kitchen to get where I'm in these new plastic bottles. All natural, all products are gluten-free, all products are now high fructose syrup free. Sweet Zing used to have high fructose corn syrup in one of the ingredients, so I was able to get that out of there. And just really excited to get these out there. You probably noticed that I've been out of stock on my sauce for quite some time now, and that's because I've been waiting on this, switching manufacturers, so hopefully we'll resolve that stocking issue, and you won't see that sold out sign on historicbarbecue.com or at your favorite retailer anymore, because a lot of those guys have been out of stock for a while. So already got these out to a couple retailers. So you got Dorothy Lane Market's got it, This Old Farm in Indianapolis, or just outside of Indianapolis. I don't know, those are the first two that went out, but we've got a lot of local places here that I drop product off to. Golden Lamb Gift Shop. And I will have these on the website probably by Monday. I'm going to try to get them done today, but I got to get new pictures up and update the descriptions and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to try to get them today, but they'll definitely be done by Monday. And just, like I said, really excited to get these out. Plastic bottles, so I don't have to worry about glass breaking in the mail or the expensive shipping cost. But yeah, it's I'll probably do another video about the whole process, because it's been quite a lot of work between switching the recipes, getting new labels, getting new bottles. Got the fancy custom tops on these, and just getting that all done has been quite a journey, and I'm excited to announce them. So, like I said, you've probably seen some sneak peeks on the Instagram stories, but they're here, they're out, and they're ready to go. So, hopefully you'll be willing to give them a try. If you like the old version in the glass bottles, you're going to love these. Based on the same recipe, only some, like I said, slight tweaks. Original's basically the same product. Spicy is a little bit spicier than it used to be. That was probably the biggest feedback I got when I do demos, is people try the spicy and they'd say it's not spicy enough. That's a tough place to get. I want you to still taste what you're eating, but I do want you to know that you're eating a spicy barbecue sauce. So we've done that with the spicy. Sweet Zing is fairly similar to before, except I was able to get that high fructose corn syrup out. So now that's a nice all-natural high fructose corn syrup free. All these are gluten-free. All these are no MSG. So hopefully you guys will check them out at your local retailer or on historicbarbecue.com. And got the big Buckeye game here coming up against Wisconsin, so I'm going to get moving and stay historic, guys. Hopefully you're tailgating or enjoying some barbecue with some friends this weekend. If you're cooking at the Jack, good luck. I know got a lot of friends and teams cooking there, and hopefully they do well. But wherever you're cooking, good luck and stay historic, guys.